Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, never mind. You don't care anyways. Let's get to the bike.
Okay, what's up, guys? I know you guys been waiting. Okay, let's see. What color did you guess? Who guessed green? All right, who guessed blue? Anyone guess black? Okay, I know somebody guessed red. Or did somebody guess the special edition? You know, the one that's yellow and black. Boom, it's red. I had to get red. Come on, you guys. I got blue. Now we need red. That's like Ryu and Ken in Street Fighter. You know, the two guys from the old school game Contra. Double Dragon. It's always red versus blue. Whether it's Crips and Bloods, okay. Whatever. We got it. Red, blue. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, step back, and we're going to unbox it, set it up, go through it. All right, guys, thanks for being patient. Been trying to get it to you guys. I know my pocket bike fans are my hardcore guys. Don't worry. Never forget about you guys. Never, ever, ever. Okay, let's. All right, guys. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for being patient. Let's do this. All right. So, fresh off the truck, got some plastic wrap around here. Take that off. Now, if you guys don't know, when the pocket bikes come, they come shipped in a metal cage, and the only way to get that out is with a wrench, socket wrench, whatever. And that's how they come. Same way my X19 came. And as you can see, this is from the one and only Venom Motorsports. VenomMotorsportsCanada.com. Check them out. My boy Moose, he sent this to me. We're going to unbox it. What up, Moose? What's going on? All right, everybody. Let's go. Venom Motorsports. Come on, guys. You see it on the screen right there. Let's go. All right, let's go ahead. Alright, you see, repping Venom Motorsports. You know how we do. What up, Chocolate Moose? Alright. Alright. You know we rep the Venom. I'll leave it over here. Alright, guys. How's that? Everything good? We good? All right, let's go. Now, as you can see, a little closer up, and yeah, let me tell you, looking at it right now, guys, this thing is bigger than my X18. I mean, look at the tires on my X18. Now I'll get my tape measure out and go ahead and measure it to see how high the tires are, but let me tell you, this is a lot bigger. Look at that back tire compared to my little. The X18 looks like his little baby brother. You see that? Again, I'll get my tape measure so we can get the exact measurements. But this thing is no joke. Look at that. Shout out to Moose over there at Venom Motorsports. This looks like a pocket bike on steroids. It's like he's been in the gym working out. This guy doesn't like the gym. This guy likes the gym. He doesn't like the gym. Wow. Now, I ain't been reading and hearing it was bigger, but I'm telling you guys, this is a trip. Let me try and get in here for you. The paint job looks 10 times better. It just looks like it's just the craftsmanship. It's just a lot better made bike. It's just made 10 times better just looking at it. So it looks like we got some wire ties, you know, some metal wire ties. We'll go ahead and undo those. But like I said, it's in this cage. We're gonna have to go around and undo these bolts. So let me grab my socket set. And then I'll just cut those wire ties. But wow, this thing is huge. All right, guys, huge. So yeah, looks like right here on the right hand side, there's like some wire ties, like some metal wire ties kind of securing this in. I have strong wire cutters right here. I'm just gonna cut that off to avoid that. And this one's looser on the other side. Great packaging job by Moose and his minions over there at Venom Motorsports. You guys, you got any questions? You thinking about ordering a bike? They even have layaway plans. They have a sale going on right now. Call up my boy Moose. Say, hey, I know Locobooff from YouTube, the pocket bike guy, the only one that endorses any pocket bike store. Locobooff. Hey, I know him. Maybe Moose can cut you a deal. That's maybe. Alright, so another wire tie here. I'm not even gonna bother untwisting that. Let's get on in here. My boy Moose and the gang, you know, they throwing a bunch of decals for you. Whatever you want to put on there, stick it on there. Be as cool as you want to be, but not cool as me. But be as cool as you want to be. Alright? As you guys can tell, I'm excited. I'm happy for you guys. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been waiting. Okay. So on the other side, there's another wire tie. Look at that. Look at the size difference. I mean, it's like not even in the same family. Like this looks like the one you see in the circus with a bunch of clowns on it. And they come out riding around. Right? Wow. Now, before somebody says, why don't you get a real bike? You guys, who knows? Maybe I have a real bike. Maybe I don't. But it's like, I have a real car, but I also have remote control cars. I have real guns, but I also have airsoft guns. You see what I mean? So, these are just like toys. They're fun. They're go-karts. This one looks like you could register it. So, that's a common thing I see, and that's so funny to me. Like, why don't you buy a real bike? But when I'm driving a remote control car, no one says, why don't you buy a real car? Well, I have a real car. You know, I got the extra money. Why not get a cool toy? That's all this is, just to have fun. Go-karts. I have a go-kart, you know what I mean? But I also have a real car. Drive that around the neighborhood too. Anyways, back on subject. So look at this. Look at the tire. Same height, and look how much bigger that is. That's crazy. I mean, look at this. Oh my God. I might give this bike to my niece. And she's 6. Wow. Insane. Anyways, I'm going to bring it in a little closer here so you guys can see. Very well made. Look at that. Now, let me look at the number on here. 90 by 90 by 12. Tubeless, nylon max load. Okay. 212 kilograms of air. Anyways, look at that. Very solid. Very well made. This is nice. 14 millimeter ratchet. You can get a crescent wrench, whatever works for you. Alright, and then I need to loosen that. Okay, so went ahead and loosened all the bolts around there. And you'll be left with a bunch of these. You know, no big deal. Take those off. Alright. Now we're going to go ahead and they tape something to the bike. I'm just taking my box cutter here. See what they got for you. Okay. So it looks like they gave you the thing for your kickstart here. We'll put that on. And there's some hardware here and we'll see what else. Also looks like the shifter. The shifter as well, but we'll go ahead and take that out. And then it looks like your mirrors. Okay. So let's take off the cage. Remove this. Be sure not to scratch your bike. So it's just tape. Taken off. Looks like the turn signals they even left covered in plastic on the back here. Make sure you get it off on the exhaust too, because once you ride the bike and it heats up, it'll be melting the tape. Right now I'm just going around taking off all the plastic. And it looks like this is the front mask, if you will, the nose that has your headlight and stuff right there. Now this looks like the rear fender, a little mud guard that goes over. We'll put that on the back as well. The bike is red and silver. Okay, and then this looks like the one for the front of the bike. And we'll put that on as well. Okay, so Here's the front nose. And we'll plug this in the front, that way your headlight will work. And that just goes right there. So, in the front, you unwrap it. You'll get the front. Let me angle that down for you guys. How's that? Okay, so you'll get the front nose. This will go on the front after we put the tire on. And this will go over the rear, your mud guard. Okay? And that's all that you got wrapped in there. Okay. Next we need to pop it up a little bit. So if you guys, this is kind of heavy, so make sure you have a friend or some assistance. So this little spring right here, gonna lift it up and take all the plastic off. And then we're gonna sit it inside that notch. You see right in there? Gonna sit in there so the bike can sit upright. Then we're gonna take a bolt and
Okay, next we're gonna grab our bolt out of the bag.
Bolt that looks like this. And then we have the nut for it right here, and we're gonna put it through that bracket where the spring is sitting in. Right here. So we're gonna feed that through and put the bolt on this side, and we're gonna go ahead and tighten that up so it stays. That way it's nice and secure in there. So I'll go ahead, put this in here. This side, let me lift up a little bit. Now it's in there. Make sure it's as close as it can go. Then we'll go ahead and put the nut inside here. And then take your wrench or ratchet, whatever you got. Kind of. And tighten that up. Golden. So now you have it sitting up to the proper height. And this thing is tall, guys. It's tall. Before I even lifted that up, and that went up probably, 4 or 5 inches. Before I even lifted that up, it was the same height as the X19. Now, located in front of the bike are the forks. Those two things coming down right there. And there's a bar in between, like the rod or pole or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to have to lift up on that. And then line it up with our tire and push it all the way through on here. So we'll lift up and get it off of the shipping frame or whatever it comes with. Okay. Okay. Be careful, because now the forks are going to be sitting on the frame. Okay. Okay, so after you lift it up, you'll have this rod that's going to go in between. Okay. As you can see, it's going to have to go up pretty high to get in. Okay, guys, and when you the first thing I'm going to suggest is that you have somebody with you, family member, friend, somebody that can help you put this together. This bike is heavy, 260 pounds, I think, 200 pounds, 240, somewhere around there. Anyways, you're going to need help, especially if you're a smaller person. I'm okay, but you're going to have to lift up the front of the bike, make sure your kickstand is down. And then to get the tire in there, but you need to get the brake, or this disc, rotor, let's say, into there in between the brake pads. I don't know if you could see that. So you're gonna have to lift the bike up and then roll this tire in between the brake pads. So if you're by yourself, it's rather difficult. If you have a friend, somebody that can hold it up while you're lifting in there. And as you could see, like we said, it's bigger than the X18, a lot taller. So let me go ahead and put this in there and push that rod through. Okay, guys. So when you're all done, it should resemble that. Now the 2 bolts that came off of the bar that goes in between, that was attached to the frame, you're going to need those. So we're going to put these on the outside. One here on the right and one on the left. we'll mount the cluster gauge on the bike because it goes right there in those two holes. So let me get the screws and we'll go ahead and put that on. Step by step, guys. And like I said, this thing is big. Look at that. Okay, so wow. You want to go ahead and grab this bolt, this longer one here, and the nut for that. There's two of them inside the hardware that came with you. Okay, so we got those. And then you're going to need your 10 millimeter ratchet. So after feeding those two bolts through, go ahead and get you a 10 millimeter ratchet. And you're going to need something on top. Okay, also, when you get a chance, go around the bike, just in general, and check things. You know, you'll see this might be loose. This piece is loose. Obviously, that's very important. The brakes or the throttle need to be tight. So, you know, find out where you want the brake, you know, according to where you're going to be riding. So for me, that's around right there. And then tighten that. But just go around the bike completely. Check all the screws, all the bolts, everything. You know, this was hanging out here, so I brought it in closer. Okay, and that's better. So with my Phillips, I'll tighten up the throttle as well. You know, these are vital pieces that are going to be important to you while you're riding. Make sure everything's tight. Don't just take it out of the box and, you know, start driving down the street. You don't clutch on the left-hand side. Get in a little closer. I'm going to tighten that as well. So right around there feels good to me. So the next step before I put on the front nose, I'm going to go ahead and put this front mud guard on, if you will. Going to go ahead and you see the holes right there, here and here. So we'll get our bolts and put two on the left and two on the right. And that is the next step. This thing is big. Look at it. All right, guys. Okay, guys. Now we're going to put on the front mask here. And this has one, wow, it's actually kind of cool, like projector light in the front. So that's what the light looks like on the inside. And to connect it, it looks like there's a green, white, and blue plug. And it's just a 3-prong plug in there. And you have your plugs here, you know, a whole bunch of them inside, but it'll connect to the green, white, and blue. But the first thing we need to do, because on the inside of here is metal, this metal brace, if you will, there's two holes, and it looks like you're going to take two bolts, put it through here with a nut on each end, and attach it to right here where my fingers are. So this is going to go in on the inside, like that. Okay, you guys, so you see these two bolts right here, like I said, attached to this metal framework for the front nose. You line it up with the two holes that are coming off of the bike already. And let me zoom in there a little better for you. Okay. And then you're going to go ahead and put two bolts and then two nuts on the end, how I did right there. And tighten those up really good. You're going to need an Allen wrench to get on the inside of those holes. And then, yeah, on the outside of here, you're going to take one of the Phillips bolts that are still there. And then go ahead and put a nut on the back of that and screw that in as well. Now, once you're done, it should look something like that. So I think I have my Phillips right here. Just go ahead and finish that. Okay. So far, that's what it looks like. And let me tell you guys, I cannot stress it enough. This thing is big. It is big. It's nothing like the X18 at all. It almost looks 2 sizes bigger. You know, it's almost the difference between like a smaller X7 and the X18. You know, look at that, it still looks great, but then next to this, and you guys also look out, I'm gonna do another video, just a side-by-side comparison between the two, taking measurements, stack them right up next against each other so you could see, but this thing is a monster. Please guys, I can't stress it enough. You know, if you buy one of these, please don't think you're just gonna come home, take off the box, and be riding it in 5 minutes. It's not that, and you're not going to be able to do it by yourself unless you're pretty strong and diligent and have all the tools. For you younger guys out there, kids, you know, if you're under the age of, you know, I'd say 16 or 17, you're going to need some help. You know, the bike is heavy and you have to lift it up. You lift the forks off the ground in order to get the rod through, so you can go ahead and place the tire on, and then you have to put this disc in between the brake pads, how I showed you earlier, and that's hard to do. You know, I did it by myself, but it took the battery. That way our electrical will work, like our push start, horn, lights, turn signals. So, and I still have the plastic on the back seat, so gonna get my tools and take off the back seat. So yeah, don't think you're just gonna be riding this in 5 minutes. Even then, you still got to go around and tighten everything up. Every screw, every bolt, every nut you see, go over it with a fine-tooth comb and tighten it up. You know, it's been shipped over to Canada, they got it. Then from Canada, it's been shipped to us. Stuff gets jostled around, could be loose, and this is your safety we're talking about here. So go ahead, tighten everything up, and double check everything. And yeah, so let me get my tools so we could take off the back passenger seat. But so far, this is what it looks like, guys. Not too bad. It's a beast, and it's really nice. It's really, I mean, look at the paint. Like, this is no toy. It is, but it isn't, you know? Alright guys. Also, you guys, for the front headlight to work, remember the plug, you're gonna take your green, white, and blue plug and plug it into the green, white, and blue right there. So we'll go ahead and plug those in, and that way your front projector headlight will work. That's pretty cool how they did that. Reminds me of the projector lights on some of the newer cars. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and plug that in, and then we'll go ahead and take off the back seat so we could connect the electrical, the positive and negative. Also, the battery. Let's take your brake cable, kind of put it in here and kind of bend this out, but it'll stay hooked in there. Keep it off the engine block, you know, so when it gets hot, you know your cable's safe. So we got that off of there and put that in there as well. Okay, so this is I can tell you one thing too, guys. This bike is 10 times easier to take apart and work on than the X18. I mean, it is night and day, 50 times easier. So to take all this off on the old X18, there was bolts under there you had to do. You had to take the seat up. It was crazy. All you have to do to take this off, literally, is there's one Allen bolt right back here, and once you're done loosening that up, this whole seat comes off. Okay? Once the seat is off, that reveals our battery here, which is perfect. You can get to it. It's simple. Very, very easy. That was so smart of them. Good job, Venom, on that. Okay, so your hardware's here, your bolts and stuff, and you're gonna connect. Now you have two wires here. You have your red and your black, and that's positive and negative. And on the battery, there's gonna be a plus and a minus. And we'll go ahead and take the plastic off of this. And I'll bring this in closer for you. So your battery, you see it right there, there's a plus symbol and a minus. So red is plus, minus is black. Okay, so here is your battery connections. So there's one thing here, like this little block that it comes with, and you're gonna go ahead and put that in the bottom side here. Kind of get that in there to stay straight. You put that metal block in there. Take your screw, feed it through, and that's how you know you got power. and the screw will go ahead and grab in the hole of that block we put through. Okay, turn that off, turn off the lights, and turn off the power. So now that that's in there, we'll go ahead and screw this in there and get it nice and tight. And as you screw it, it should go ahead and bite on that block that we put in there. And you see now it's tight. Okay. And I did the same thing on the negative side. Alright. Now I'll be honest, I don't like how loose this is, so I'm gonna look for some foam padding or something to kind of wedge in between here. That way it's just stabilized. Usually every battery I've seen, it comes with some way to kind of lock it in here, but I don't like the fact that this can move, not with my positive and negative. You know, there's a good 2 inches on this side. Look, I got 2 fingers in here. Gap, and that gives it room to bounce around, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna stuff something in here, some foam, some padding, anything, kind of stuff it in there. So what I'm doing is taking some of the bubble wrap that came around the bike, okay, and I put it under, and I'm gonna kind of put it all the way around and then sandwich it back in there. That way, see what I mean? It doesn't move. To me, that's just a peace of mind. You know, I could be overreacting, overthinking it, let's say, but hey, why not? Okay, now look, doesn't that seem a little better to you? Now it won't bounce around. If anything, maybe I'll stuff just a little more in there, make it a little more stable. But make sure you keep it off of the exhaust pipes, because those get really hot and it'll melt whatever you have there. Okay, so I went ahead and connected the battery, how you just saw, so that's all done. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the seat back on. And like I said, this is beautiful. The fact that it's only one bolt holding this on. So I stuffed this bubble wrap in here. It's more secure for the battery. I like that. Okay, so that's in place. I'm going to take my Allen wrench and go ahead and the thing you want to do is tighten your handlebars. These are pretty loose when you first get them. Now there's 2 Allen wrench bolts in there. You can kind of put those in there and go ahead and tighten it once you've gotten on the bike and figured out exactly where you want them. Now I'm going to do that myself, or I already did. Okay. You know, make sure you take your time and get it right. So the last thing you want to be doing is driving and whoa, and the handlebar's loose. So try to move it. You know, you should be good. Okay. All right. Okay, next thing we're going to do is put on your kick shift so you could shift while you're riding. Okay, and it's right here. And there's a bolt, a 10mm bolt right here. So we'll go ahead and loosen that up. Reach in and kind of slip this up and over. And there we go. I'm going to go ahead, put that on there. Now when it's on there, we're going to tighten it up. Okay, you guys, so I actually took it off. You know, I loosened this bolt. It's dusty. I actually loosened this bolt right here, took it off, and adjusted it and made it lower. You know, because your foot's going to be on this peg, and it's going to have to go under here to shift and down, and that's how you're shifting. So I had this up way too high initially. So I adjusted it and made it lower, and that feels a lot better after I sat on the bike. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is put on our kickstart. And this is it right here. Of course, you have a push button automatic start, but we also have a kickstart here in case you don't want to use your push button start. Anyways, here it is right here. We're going to go ahead and loosen this nut with our 10mm. socket. And not straight up, but just angled back just a little bit. And it should go all the way on like that. Okay. So put this bolt back in. And I'll go ahead and tighten this up. Alright guys. Okay, and we're just gonna go ahead and tighten this all the way down. Okay, you guys, as I was putting on the kickstart, something that I noticed here, I don't know if it's a design flaw or I don't know, I'll call Venom and ask him. Talk to Moose and see what he says, but you know, everybody knows, you know, when you put on your kickstart and it's right here to kickstart, you fold this out and then you go ahead and kick down. Now, if you guys are looking closely here, the problem is as I kick down, it swings in the way, this bar, of hitting the brake. So I don't know if that's a design flaw or I got sent the wrong one. Maybe they're supposed to send me one where it protrudes or sticks out further enough to clear this brake here. Because, excuse me, let me get in over here. So, you know, if I do the motion like I'm going to kick down to start the bike, as you can see, I'm going to hit the brake. Now that does me no good. Now, I could still start the bike. It's not a big deal. I have a push start, an electronic push start. But I guess if it ever fails, or I'm somewhere and let's say the battery is dead, or really low, like not enough to turn over the bike automatically with the automatic start, it's nice to be able to manually kickstart your bike. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and take the plastic off the seat. Now you should only have like a couple of these little bolts left, and that's if you want to go ahead and put them in here. You know, put it in there, put a nut on the bottom side of it, you know, so they meet up like that. And then go ahead and tighten those back. I'm not going to do that just yet, but you should. Anyways, take the plastic, take it off of your brand new bike. Make sure you have oil. Check your dipstick. Okay? And you see it's wet and there's oil on there. And there's the hash marks on there as well. So you know that's good. You know, I'll go ahead and put that on as well. And then once that's done, we're ready to roll. But yeah, just take your time, make sure everything's tight. And yeah, I'm gonna start it up real quick and see if we're good to go. I got more videos coming. I got some ideas for some mods I'm gonna do. Yeah, some cool things I think you guys will really enjoy. I also got more videos coming up of me riding it. You guys just got to give me a second, give me a chance. And yeah, very soon, maybe even later on, very soon, I'm going to do a size comparison. I'm going to measure them, put them right next to each other. And yeah, so you guys can see the difference, because there's a big discrepancy between the two, between the X18 and the new X19. I was taking my time, making sure I had everything correct, and making sure I screwed everything in tightly and all of that, just like I was telling you guys before. You're going to be riding this at a, you know, at a high speed, 45, 50, 55 miles an hour, who knows. And the last thing you want is something coming loose and, you know, you hurting yourself. And, you know, that's the last thing anybody wants. You know, we want everybody to have fun and enjoy themselves. But this is the brand new X19 from Venom Motorsports. Shout out to Moose over there. Thank you so much. VenomMotorsportsCanada.com. Right now he has a sale. I believe he's even offering free shipping right now. So this is crazy. And you guys, I understand why this is more than the X18 that mini pocket rockets used to have. You know, this is a lot bigger bike. Like I mean, it's a good 4 inches or so taller. I'm gonna do a side-by-side comparison video and upload that so you can see the tire size, the height, everything. But this, trust me, I know it's hard to tell in comparison right now, but trust me, this bike is taller. It's better made, the seats are better, the grips are better, the paint is better. Just even the gas tank, little stuff, how you push it and then open it up and then turn it to put in the gas. Like, it's designed well, like someone actually thought about it. And before, you guys remember on the X18, there was all these bolts everywhere that if you wanted to work under it and take the fairings off, it would take you literally 45 minutes to take off all the bolts. Well, now to take all of this off, it's just one Allen bolt in the back. They do give you extra bolts if you want to bolt that in. I'll probably do that in a little bit. You guys stay tuned. I got more videos coming. I'm already thinking of a couple of mods. I've already ordered the parts. So once those come in, boom, we're going to have those videos step by step of everything I do to this bike. Also, I'm going to be riding it. I got a buddy of mine. He's going to be riding my other one, and we're going to make riding videos. So stay tuned, you guys. I know you guys want more videos. I'm trying, but believe me, they're coming. And big shout out to Venom Motorsports. And as far as I know right now, they're the only ones that are shipping bikes that are EPA approved. So if you guys want the mirrors, you know, thinking of safety, they do throw in side mirrors so you can see behind you. And they even pre-drilled the holes, so one will go there, the other one will go there, and the mounting hardware is inside these as well. So you can go ahead and put these on. I'll probably put them on a little bit later. And you know, something that was nice of Venom to throw in was a user manual, only in Spanish. So for those of you that know how to read Spanish, you're good to go. That will probably be my wife. She can read Spanish. I cannot. And yeah, so there's no instructions that come with the bike. You're on your own. You can kind of figure it out as you go, but all you got to do now is just look at my video. The only thing I got to do now is add gas and then take off down the street. So this is 91, you know, unleaded from Chevron. You can get it from anywhere, but in the X18 it said to use 91 premium. So yeah, I'll just go over the bike really quick. So here's your key. You know, you turn that, power's on, and 0, that indicates what gear you're in. So if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, that's what gear you're in. And it looks like it's 1 up, 4 down, or 1 up, 3 down. You go up, and then every time you step down, it'll go to the higher gear. And there's 4 gears. Okay, so there's your cluster gauges there. And there's your RPMs on the right, and then there is no fuel gauge. So you're gonna have to try to gauge it yourself. You know, I wouldn't go riding 70 miles away from your house on this and fully expect it to last. But you should be all right for a while. Okay, and then you hit this up, and then this is your headlight. And as you can see there, that means your headlight is on. And they give you a nice little light there, a nice projector light. It's actually pretty cool. And you could see it on my garage door. You can see the shadow of the box. Okay, and then you have your turn signals. You hit this to the left. Then you have your turn signal to the right. And then you have your brake light. It's your tail light, but when you step on or push the brake, oh, still got the cover on here. When you push the brake on your right hand side, it lights up. Now on the X18, when you use the foot brake, you know, your rear brake, the brake cuts on. On the new X19 here, it does not. Okay, you have your pegs here for your footrest for you, and then here's the pegs in the back if you have a second rider to go on the back. And yeah, it's very well built. It's sturdy. A major improvement over the X19, and it is a lot bigger too. So I'm gonna add some gas, start it up. You guys stay tuned. And yeah, this is the new X19 from Venom Motorsports. And look at that thing. Also, something while I was in here, there's this rubber tube right here going through this metal pipe. You can move it up or down. It was out. And like I said, then I went and then put it through here because it's probably supposed to go through there. But like I said, I just took my time going around the bike, checking things. And that's it. Like I said, you guys stay tuned. I'm working on more stuff, waiting on some parts to come in. Stay tuned, guys. Venom Motorsports. What up, Moose? What's up, everybody? Thank you. If you like my video, like my video. Thank you to everybody that watches. Thank you so much.
Alright guys, I'm gonna add some gas in here.
So open this, just push this. Come up over here. Okay, turn this. And I have 91 octane in here. Alright, now I'm not sure how big the gas tank is in here, but I'll just add some. I know it's bone dry. Okay, a little bit more. That should be good for right now. Alright. Then I'm going to take this, take the cap, put it back in there. We'll try Alright guys, I'm going to try to start it up. I just added the gas. Alright, and let's see. Okay, so yeah, as you see, it started up, but yeah, I didn't hit record. Yeah, it probably took like 10-15 tries because you know there's no fuel or anything in the fuel lines. It also helps if you bounce up and down on it like that to help get some of the fuel in there to get it cycled around. But yeah, it looks like it's good. I'm ready to go. I'm gonna take it for a ride. But already it sounds more fierce and more mean and better sounding exhaust and everything than the X19. And this, like, I mean, look at it. You know, I'm 5'10", 5'11", and this thing is pretty big. It is not as small as the other pocket bike. So yeah, you guys, I'm gonna start up. I got more videos coming, stuff like that. And thank you so much. If you like my videos and like my videos, I got more stuff coming. You guys, stay tuned. More giveaways, everything. And yeah, thanks to all my subscribers and everybody out there. And thanks to Moose over at Venom Motorsports, VenomMotorsportsCanada.com. And yeah, you see it on the screen again right there. So yeah, and everybody, and thank my wife, everybody, because she allows me time to spend hours and hours making videos, thinking of ideas, editing stuff, and spending money on stuff. So you know, you guys thank Mrs. Loco. She's the one holding the camera.
Hello.
Alright guys, so yeah, I'm gonna start this up and I'm gonna go for a ride. So alright everybody, stay tuned.